honestly. Oh, bitch. The way I have been waiting for this one. I'm so excited to share it with you. It's so good. Oh, this game is so interesting, by the way, y'all. I'm invested. I've been meaning to play it just to like know what's going on. I want to know the story, but I'm scared it's gonna like suck me in and take forever. This game deals with mature subjects and may not be suitable for all players. Please see our content warnings in the system menu for a detailed list of themes and events. Where is that? I don't know where it is. Oh, here. 13 and older does not contain excessive violence or explicit sex. However, it does deal with mature topics, which will be uncomfortable for some players. There are many ways to live your life in Vertumna, and just like in real life, some choices can lead you to dark places. Broadly, content warnings for the game include the following. Select one to learn more. Major character death. And you can see who exactly dies, which I don't need. Children in peril or dying, animal cruelty and death. Bodily harm and grossness. Implied sexual content, drugs, alcohol, violence and text, mental health and trauma, domestic abuse, traumatic global events. Fun. That's just the daily news. You're gonna go get breakfast and go to the movies. Then you're gonna have dinner or reservation at one of your favorite restaurants. Yum. What kind of food is it? And do you know what movie you're gonna see? A trigger for everyone. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light, heat, and smoke. Fire! Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out, but you aren't sure how you got here or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is ringing in your ears. What's going on? You try to speak, but the words come out jumbled. Your throat seizes around a lungful of choking smoke. You feel dizzy and confused. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws her arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog, like from Earth? The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. Well, well, well. Hopefully the audio's good. Breakfast at Tiffany's? They play that in the theater? I still need to see that movie. Oh, you've never seen it on film. A fancy steakhouse. I love that. You are born on the Earth's first colony ship. Halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vertumna 4, in the hope that they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged their cultures and traditions. They named you... Also, can I just say that character designs in this game? Top tier. Top tier. Okay? Top tier character design. In New York City, you have theaters that play... Oh, okay. That makes sense. New York City, of course. Obviously, someone Too young to have ever seen in theaters. That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. So what do we... Solana's cool. Solane. Let's go with Solana. You're bright. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination, sometimes too active, your mom says. So we use the slider to choose our pronouns. So there's something really cool about this game that I hope y'all appreciate. But there's a slider for pronouns and for appearance for later in your teens. And you can customize them. So if you don't like she or they or he, you can go into their custom pronoun settings, and it's very thorough. So like instead of them, her, him, you replace it with whatever you want all the way through, including partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, nice looking, pretty handsome, one person, one woman, one man, disappear, disappear, disappears, which I don't know why that has to... I don't know about that one, but it's not my business. Lover, girlfriend, boyfriend. You can change them all. You can autofill with they, singular. They is, they are. Rex's special friend, for example. They reach, they don't, they return. Mix maturity. Like, there's a whole array of how you want your experience to be, which I just really appreciate. I'm still going with she, her, because that's me. I also like that you can change the appearance, but it doesn't correlate necessarily with what's at the top. I'm gonna go with feminine appearance. You have vivid dreams of things you've never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles, and strange animals. You wonder if this is what Vertumna will be like. Every child on the stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement by age 6. You see the first signs of yours. Are we going to have eagle eyes, extra fingers, absorbent brain, super strength, calm temperament, or nothing at all? What do y'all think? What do y'all think we should go for? And they all kind of correlate with something on the left here. I think eagle eyes could be perception. Fingers could be engineering, maybe creativity. Absorbent brain is reasoning, probably. I think I would want to go with calm temperament. I don't know. That sounds nice. -1 stress. Being able to de-stress. Nothing can faze you. You're rarely frustrated. You don't let anxiety get the better of you. You brush insults aside, always play nice, and never have to be told that sharing is caring. Yeah, I think that's pretty ideal. Oh, look at our friends. Look at them. We have Anemone, Cal, Mars, Dice, Tangent, and Tammy. I like Mars. I think Mars is the coolest. Just my opinion. So we have Anemone, who's very cute. They are the most enthusiastic person you know. Your favorite memory is the time she taught you how to play 0G sports ball after class. She never means to get you into trouble, but somehow you always seem to find it together. There's Cal. A sweetheart, always ready to lend a hand or play a game. He and Tammy are just as inseparable, so it's almost like you have two best friends instead of just one. Cal teaches you how to take care of all the classroom plants. Your parents are very proud of both of you. Unlike his studious twin sister Tangent, Dice sits at the back of the classroom, doodles on his hollow palm. You bond while cracking jokes about the weird diagrams in your textbooks. His quiet nature and his morbid curiosity make him somewhat of a loner, but at least he is a friend of you. Oh, there's Tangent. Okay, Icon. Oh, I was like, that's not a napkin. I just need a little napkin. Tangent sits right up front by the holo projector and always has her hand in the air. She and her twin brother Dice drifted apart when she started genome treatment to make her body conform to her gender. Oh. Today Tang is the girl you always knew she was, but her relationship with Dice is worse than ever. Oh, that's so sad. Tangent is serving wig. She really is. Okay, trans icon. And then Tammy. Oh, what a sweet looking girl. Tammy is the kindest person you know. She idolizes antecedent and is always following her around, helping her with the babies or learning how to cook. She has the best snacks at class recess and always shares, especially with you and Cal. She and Cal are just as close, so it's kind of like having two best friends. That's a friend-looking friend right there. But I like Mars. She's a natural leader. Whenever you're all playing together, Mars is the one who comes up with all the ideas. She can be a little bossy, but that's part of her charm. She always organizes fun stuff for the kids after class. You're both founding members of the secret Fun Times Club. But I could choose Tammy. But I could also choose Cal. And then I could still be friends with Tammy anyway. Let's choose Cal. You're 10 years old when the ship oh, why am I sad? Why am I sad? Why am I stressed? Why am I sad? You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Professor Howell says it's like a doorway to other star systems with the planet Vertumna 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. When the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, then starts to slide off the tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's going to be fine, Solana, your dad soothes. We'll be through the wormhole down on the planet before you know it, just like we've practiced. Your mom gives him a sharp, worried look. Can I just say, our mom and dad, hot. They're everything. I love them. I love our mom and dad. They're so cool. Like, fashion icons. They're divas. They're icons. They're stars. I love them. Red emergency lights switch on as a siren begins to sound somewhere distant in the ship. Not negative. Not plus 28 stress. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look out a porthole. The stars are gone. When you're frightened, you get in touch with your emotions. You bawl like a baby. It feels good. You aren't the only one. Nearby, your classmate Tammy has tears streaming down her cheeks. And her nose. Mars is trying quietly to console her. She sighs as your crying makes Tammy wail even more loudly. Your dad puts his arm around you as you let it out. You wait. The shaking builds. Then everything starts to get very weird. The hallway stretches, and you're stretching too, your arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon and contracting down to the size of an atom at a time. Is this the wormhole? You hear the distant, ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The weirdest part is a sense of deja vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, and you know, somehow, that everything is going to be okay. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall, head first. You black out. As you slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow all at once. And more than just one tomorrow, lots of them, different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams. I've never seen this before. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams. Tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and a stranger, but also not a stranger, grinning as she grabs your hand. Hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distant, you can feel the ship shaking has stopped and hear your parents' worried voices. Bushwick hipsters wish they looked like. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. The medbed under you plays a soft tone and an automated voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completed healing. They may now be safely discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright. You try to focus on the window. Something is definitely different. Sunlight? Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns is streaming through the windows. You peer out to see fields, grass-walled domes, and walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There are construction materials everywhere and people walking around outside on the ground. You better get out there and join them. Let's rush outside to our new life. Oh my god, we're so cute. Look at us! We're a little baby! We're a little baby. Tammy jumps as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake. Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. To walk, click on the ground, click on characters, talk to them. Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head. I bet your parents were worried. Your dad is working over in geoponics, near those domes. They're called greenhouses. I would go with you, but, well, this is as far as I've been from the ship since we landed. It's scary outside. Oh, the garrison? Oh, this is engineering. Oh, she said east. What am I doing? Solana, your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Instance thought it'd be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, my snoozy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He was clearly very worried about you, but covers it with jokes and smiles. Aw, you love your dad. Welcome to Vertumna, he says, gesturing around you. You've seen the stratospheric from the outside, except you've never seen the stratospheric from the outside except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two, in parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill. How'd you do this so fast? You've been asleep for weeks, my dear aubergine. And these geodesic greenhouses practically put themselves up. But some of this is only a quick, temporary solution, he admits. We'll keep growing and improving things. One day, our little colony will be as big as a whole city. Before I forget, he pulls a package from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? He asks. You honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in medbay. Happy birthday! Oh my god! Mal, it's your birthday! What a weird coincidence. Happy birthday, he shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already? You feel a dizzying sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what is in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package. Some years ago on the ship inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad made by hand. Tell him you know what's in it. You describe the medallion and your dad tisks as he hands you the package. Oh, who ruined the surprise? Was it Seek? I'll bet it was Seek. They hate fun. Don't tell them I said that. You start to explain that nobody told you, but someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Solana, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed, and don't worry, we're going to fix it, your mother and I. Professor Hal is expecting you in classes if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing in the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier, or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Solana. I love you. Oh, I love you too, Dad. To enter buildings, click on the door on the flag beside it, or get close and press enter. Then choose an activity for the month to gain skills and advance time. There are 13 months a year and 10 years to the end of the game. You'll only have time to focus on a few things. Scary. Oh, hello. Sitting on the ground beside some bushes, is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory so strong that you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. I think there are monsters out there. I believe you. No, you don't. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. He turns his back and ignores you. They're huge and wriggly. Oh, I'd just leave them alone. Well, you tried. Dice is so sensitive about being teased. I wasn't teasing him. I'll just look at the notice board. Oh no, not the colony food shortfall being low. Second month of dust. Okay, let's pick an activity to do this month. Should we study humanities or study life sciences? We get to increase our friendship with Tangent, persuasion and creativity, and stress. Oh, either way it's with Tangent. I think I'm going to do life studies. Good afternoon, my burgeoning biologists and up-and-coming chemists. Professor Howell welcomes you back to your old classroom. This afternoon, we'll learn what I like to call the wet sciences. Oh, wet. He gestures to his projected lesson plan. Biology, chemistry, medicine, ecology, and geology. You learn a little bit of everything with opportunities for further study in your favorite field. If you're looking for something a little drier, try registering for engineering classes. For today's lesson, we'll start with a fun group project. You'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Vertumna. In the ideal conditions, it can grow at a speed of over 1 meter a day and have a diameter of up to 30 centimeters. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions. You're teamed up with Tang and Cal and are given a mush tree spore and a bucket to grow it in. The rest is up to you. Tang looks up surveyor's notes on the holonet. Mush trees, she reads, are most abundant south of the colony in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp. What if we use water instead of soil, Cal suggests, like they do with hydroponics? If they like wet weather, that might work. Solana, do you have any suggestions? I don't know. Why would I know the answer to this? Why would I just know? Why would I just know this? This is so hateful. Why would I know? I'll take singing to it for 300. Tang protests, saying talking and singing to plants is foolish and unscientific. But Professor Hal reminds you that we don't know everything about vertumnant plants yet, and nobody has proved it doesn't work on mush trees. He gives you his blessing. Every day you rush into the classroom to check on its progress. You and Cal sing quietly to it. Tang flatly refuses to join in. By midweek, it has sprouted, and if you look very closely, you think you can actually see it growing while you watch. By the end of the week, yours is one of the biggest mush trees in the class, but one other group also tried Cal's water idea, and theirs is the same height as yours. How'd they do that without singing? Get to work. When you work or go to class, you'll play a quick card challenge as the month passes. Move cards to fill the 5 panes and make the best hand you can. Yes, order matters. If your total in the circle on the right reaches the goal value, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won, and you still get a reward for doing your best. Bonus for flushes, same color together. Bonus for pairs, same number together. Bonus for straights. The more cards in a flush, pair, or straight, the higher the bonus added to your total. Cards can also affect each other and can be rearranged to find the best total score. Okay, well, clearly I'm not getting nothing. Oh. Oh, 11 would have been my best score. Come on. Your skills increase when you work or go to school with extra skills if you win the challenge and a kudos bonus if you make the highest score hand with your cards. Working also increases stress, which prevents you from working if it reaches 100. To relieve stress, take a month off to relax in the quarters wing. And we got +1 friendship. That's nice. Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know growing food is an important job and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up on the stratospheric, when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed, though you can tell they're exhausted. They make an effort to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches you as she works a pebble out of her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school. Glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles, and Professor Hal will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom, I think there are a lot of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you could tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. You both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future, and if that means you find your way, we'll accept that. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas for how you can spend your time. And come by Geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help. The quiet season. Oop. Oh, there's our friend. Anemone is bumping a sports ball with her wrists, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up. Bounce it back. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep it going. Anemone tells you about the new sports ball court, proper regulation-sized court, way bigger than the little zero-G one in the stratospheric. Her brother Calm is coaching this junior sports ball team this year. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us. We can play sports ball in the garrison. Oh, I visit them in hydroponics. Hello, Mother. You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouses with a small construction crew. You've seen these plants pinned to the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house the more delicate plants from Earth, spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do, she asks. Remember, Solana, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how much to spend your time, so long as it's productive. She points towards the engineering wing, in the back half of the stratospheric severed frame. Professor Hal's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hands on your shoulder. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know? I'm good. Hello, my little potato. What have you been up to today? Hanging with my friends. That Cal's a good boy, he says. And have you seen Anemone? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she's spent every day outside since we landed. He chuckles to himself. Guess that's what happens when you've got enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Vertumna is magnificent, isn't it? Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I missed seasons. Back on Earth, it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season. Both the suns will be high in the sky, and it'll be real hot then. You'll see. Oh, Mars. Sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Solana, Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk over to Mars, who's sheltering from the snow under the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. This spark snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship, we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made me some soy sweets, but there's no way I'm going out there in all this weather, she continues. Since you like running around, can you fetch them for me? Okay. Good, Mars claps. She's probably just down the hill near our quarters. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. Tammy is staring obliviously at the sky, smiling to herself. Oh, hello, Solana, she says, putting her hand to her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for the soy sweets. Oh, it's so nice of you to help out Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in pink and yellow scarf. One order of mango soy sweets made fresh this morning. Please tell Mars that she can have the scarf back, okay? She used some of her kudos to nanoprint it for me because it's so dusty here, but I think I'm getting used to it now. Tammy smiles again, tucks her hair behind her big elven ears. Mars is so cool, she says fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares too. Oh. That's so nice. I ate them. Here it is. Hand over the box of soy sweets with a smile. Mars takes it and giggles. You're such a good sidekick, doing everything I say. She hands you a soy sweet. Your tip, she tells you. Oh, an administrator seeks looking for someone to do delivery jobs for the depot. I don't want to do it, because, like, you running around there? No. Just go through there, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell them I referred you. Oh, okay. My stuff is not, my stats suck. They're not good enough. I guess I should go to school. My reasoning isn't good enough to go to engineering class. Well, I'd have to do life sciences. But it looks like I can get more from humanity. I should at least do one humanities class. Welcome, Solana. I hope you're all warmed up and ready to study the glorious humanities, history, literature, language, media, and philosophy. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient earth poetry too. By the way, if anyone's interested in taking engineering classes, please register through Congruence's scheduling system where you have a chance. She'll be helping me teach them. That was quick. Oh, work. Why'd I... Oh, please. It was 11 before and now... Oh. Oh, they're so stressed. Oh, poor Muffin. This week you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning you were sure Professor Al was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plates of hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Hal walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into the colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Anytime you try to tell someone, they think you're playing a trick or that you're sick and need to go to medbay. You eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? You just want to be normal. You hope that if you don't think about it, it'll go away. You just want to be a regular kid like everyone else. You look at the sun medallion your dad carved for you, the one you saw in a dream before you ever saw it for real. Maybe you just got a little mixed up, or you overheard someone talking about it and that's how you knew what it looked like. There has to be a rational explanation for all this. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, hello. Tangent is hunched over her hollow palm, frowning and poking angrily at the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Howell wants us to prep a list of native flora for pictures. Oh, with pictures. There should be a catalog on the Colony HoloNet, but I can't find it anywhere. Hi, Pumpkin. Good morning. You were lurky turkey last night. How go the games? Good. We have this one, and then I think 6 more. An everything shower. Yes, your boyfriend's coming for a visit. I love that. You should take the form of a smooth dolphin. Please. No worries, I totally understand. Yeah, we're in the home run. We're in the home stretch. Ugh. We're past the 12. We're past the halfway mark, technically. Both in terms of how many games are left and in time. So I'm not stressed on time, thank God. You launch your own holopalm. Oh, how are you doing, Pumpkin? How was your sleep? Did you like any of the games that you saw before you went to sleep? You launch your own holopalm and start searching the colony's HoloNet archives for a list of plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under survey logistics in the expeditions net. Anemone passes by and pulls a face at the two of you. Hey, holo nerds. School's over. Come play sports ball in the sunshine. Tang just rolls her eyes. Oh, there's my friend. Cal is riding around the geoponics garden on his hoverboard. The board comes to a sudden shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. Cal falls off but catches his balance before he eats dirt. Hi, Solana. Real ground is way harder to hover on than ship floors. There are bumps everywhere. We all have to adapt. Yeah, things are actually way better planet side. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. He runs over to a small depression in a nearby hill and presents it like it's something amazing. Look at this. It's a skate bowl. A what now? Like it's all around and the sides go up so you can do hover tricks. He jumps on his board and shows you how it's done. Just watch him. Woke up honestly, and yeah, Alterium Shift looked really neat. Oh my god, I'm so excited for it. The way that like it suddenly became like so intense and then was like just like more and more and more. I was just like I have to play this when like the amount of stuff I need to finish, I need to play. And I loved talking to those devs because like it was just such good vibes, just incredibly good vibes. Yes, it's inspired by Chrono Trigger. Um, so the two devs, one of them, their favorite game is Chrono Trigger. The other one is their favorite game is Chrono Cross, which I think is funny because I was like, I love Chrono Cross. So um, I don't know, like and that is the debate, right? Is Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross, which one is better? Most people say Chrono Trigger, but I digress. Um, I think it's really cool that you have these different options and you can go so far with like Pyra, for example, as the main character, and then start a new save file, and they might influence each other, if that makes sense. So, like, I don't know, they were saying that, like, if you open a chest in a town that maybe another character visits, it might already be open for the other character. So it's really well thought out, um, and you can play all three stories, which I think is really cool. That there's like three RPGs in one that sort of converge. I just think that's so interesting, and I'm really interested to see how that works, or how that functions, and just being able to actually like walk up to like inanimate objects and like interact with them, and they have like this witty humor over and over is just so refreshing and like fun that you can like interact like over and over and just have like like a good laugh over like a potted plant. Yeah. I don't know why I keep picking this up. It's not a controller. I mean, you could use a controller for this game, but anyway. You spend a lazy hour watching Cal ride around the bowl, trying to do tricks and sometimes even landing them. Mostly he falls off, but he's right back on a moment later. The air is so fresh and nice out here, and it's weird experiencing temperature. You start to get a little chilly as the first sun goes down, a slightly cooler, more blue sun rises. Cal, of course, doesn't notice at all. Oh, okay, that's it. Goodbye. Goodbye. I think we... Oh. You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance to the lounge. You've known her for, well, your whole entire life. Back on the ship, you used to... Tease her? No. Used to play with her, sure. Yes, it's the attention to detail. It's just it's the little things. Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used all his nanoprinter creds to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears perk up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Solana, she says. Her voice is soft and dreamy like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play dolls? Sure. Why not? Oh, I got empathy. You don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements and two super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at the programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be Drake dancing at a club. The two of you spend the afternoon making up stories of their rise to stardom as professional dancers. That's so cute. I don't know. I don't think that's weird for a 10-year-old, personally. Um, cause like I don't know, and like maybe it's weird, but like I played with like action figures and like dolls and um, like little characters or whatever for like till I was like what 13 or so. Yeah, 13. Yeah. And it's like there's video games and like the computer and whatever, but like I don't know, maybe we just like had an active imagination and like that's just what we did. um but also like my mom would always take away all the video games, so I didn't have anything left to play with, and so I had to kind of like make my own video games in my head by playing with whatever. It's nice to take some time off to chill after all the stress of school and work, not to mention the mental toll of just living in this on this unpredictable planet. Looks like you're not the only one who needs some downtime. Some of the other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. Should we join Cal and Tammy, or Mars and Dice? Or sit alone with your hollow palm? I'm going to go with Cal and Tammy. Cal is braiding Tammy's long hair and weaving in strands of little colored baubles. This one's called a waterfall braid, I think, he says. I saw it in an archive vid, but it's really tricky. He's doing a terrible job. His short, clumsy fingers get all tangled in the strands. I'll do Cal's hair. You sit behind him as he sits behind her, like a mini conga line. You braid some short strands of Cal's hair, putting one of the little baubles on the end of each one. He finishes Tammy's hair. It's almost recognizable as a waterfall braid, then touches his own braids and giggles. Now we'll do yours, they shout in unison. You jokingly try to escape, but Cal sits on your legs while Tammy gives you a beautiful braid. Oh. That's so nice. Yeah, we'll keep the memories. Why not? You think your ADHD just had you desiring to do different things? You can remember as a child starting your day with video games, but then wanting to go outside and it was nice and see your friends. Back then, your brother was a good friend to you, so you'd often play with Beanie Babies and dolls and sometimes read books. You used to read until you fell asleep at night. Ugh. I was always jealous of people who liked to read when I was growing up because, like, I hated reading. Which again, like, I blame my parents or school for that, because like I never got to read what I wanted to read, and if I wanted to read something, it was like it had to be in French because they wanted me to be bilingual. Yeah, reading books for school always sucked, or for like the purpose of learning or something. What was I gonna say? I feel like I wanted to play outside, but I don't know, my sister didn't really like me. When I was young, like before I was 10, I would play outside and stuff like that. I don't know, but then I got like really introverted, I guess. But now I love reading, so there's that. As we all know from what I was saying about like what I've been reading. Expeditions. Oh, that must be Tammy's dad. A float cow? They produce salty, high-protein milk? Careful balancing of helium and urine allows them to control their elevation? What? Excuse me? But, as some of you may know, I am reading a book about flies. A hefty red chino egg. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's this book called Superfly. And because I really like bugs and like spiders and stuff. And I had just finished reading Elliot Page's autobiography, or memoir, or whatever, which was also very good. Very good book. Anyway, um, it kind of goes into detail about like how they think that flies are like one of the most successful um, uh, breed of animal, and that at least the author of the book believes that through some of the studies that they talk about in their book, that flies have consciousness and can feel pain, which is really interesting to think about. And like, if flies are conscious, like, what does that mean for all the other bugs? Um, so it's just very interesting to read, because he kind of like goes into like, how do you um, how do you verify or like classify consciousness? So like, what are the requirements for something to be considered conscious, um, or to make like conscious decisions and stuff like that? It's really in depth. Obviously, there's some gross shit in there. We don't have to talk about that. But I just think it's really interesting to read how like all these different animals are kind of doing what they do, and um, it's very cool to me. I don't know. I know bugs are gross and all, but like it's really really puts kind of the world into like a different perspective. Like, we see flies and we're like, ugh, and you want to swat it, but like also at the same time, I don't know, it kind of gives you like a little bit of respect for like a fruit fly, for example. Um, don't think that way as much as you used to. I think we get like really used to it, and like it's like horror, like watching horror movies and stuff. You're just like, oh well, whatever. Like it's not scary anymore. You're just like used to it. You've heard it all before, You get used to it, I think. But like, I hope you can't see that ad, so that we're still talking. But um, what was it? They were talking about parasitic wasps and fruit flies, and they did this study where, and like it wasn't just for fruit flies that would do this. There are other animals that also do this, where they consider it like self-medication. Um, because if a female fruit fly has been infected with a parasite for its eggs and or for itself, it will specifically target fermenting fruit over fresh fruit, whereas fruit flies that are not infected will choose fresh fruit. And the reason is that the alcohol in the fermenting fruit can kill the parasite. Not always, but oftentimes can kill the parasite. And so that's a really interesting thought that they can like consciously be aware of that. And they can communicate like interspecies with each other when they know that there's a parasitic wasp around. Just stuff like that. I don't know. Like, but then the debate is it instinctual? Like, or is that like a learned thing? Or, how does that translate? So there's just a lot of theories and a lot of information. And that's just like one element of all of it. So it's just a very interesting book. Anyway, I could talk about bugs forever. So let's get to our life sciences. This week in biology class, we're learning about predators and prey. Oh, speaking of. He brings up a picture of a hot eye on the hollow projector and asks, who can tell me what special thing hot eyes do to when they see a predator? They hop away very quickly. That's why we call it a hop eye. That's true, but not what I was getting at. Tang stammers and looks upset, like she can't believe she got something wrong. Hal scans the class again. Anyone else? Solana? I'm gonna say they thump their feet. Is it compulsory? Just no, I have to sort of thing, or are they aware enough to think of needing to do it in their own base of knowledge? Yeah, exactly. Like, and some of those like choices, you know, like they're studying with like honeybees and all these other flies and animals of choice. Excuse me. In like memory, they test their memories and like, oh, it's a nightmare. Do they thump their feet? You go with your gut and make a guess based on what you know about the behavior of communal animals. That's right, Hal smiles. Solana sounds like she might have met one before. Gut feeling. Oh. Okay. Tang gives you an appraising look. Maybe she didn't expect this from you. Looking for more difficulty? This harder card called challenges option will keep you on your toes. Or focus on story. Okay, well. Becomes 3 should probably be like this. Work. 18 is the highest. Rip. You wake from an afternoon nap. You squint into the pink-tinged light slanting through the windows. You must have fallen asleep in the lounge. Tammy's shadow falls across your nest of pillows. Oh, I'm sorry, Solana, she says, giggling. Didn't mean to wake you up. It's just so nice outside. With pollen sparkling in the sunlight, I wanted to open the windows. You rub your eyes blearily. You were having the weirdest dream. Since you're awake, you should visit a cafeteria. Auntie Seaton is making a new kind of candy. She says it's made of cotton. Isn't that weird? I have to go tidy the creche first. Then I'll meet you there. Save some of it for me, okay? Tammy skips off toward the creche, humming to herself. Go get that free candy. Oh, she's so pretty. In the cafeteria, Auntie Seaton is cheerfully handing out masses of pink candy, puffy and soft like clouds. Oh, Solana, she says, handing you a wand with some candy spun around the end. Here, try some of this. We used to have it on Earth. You pull off a piece and give it a taste. It's so sweet at first that your mouth puckers. You've never tasted anything so sweet and so real. It's not at all like the soy sweets that the kitchen nanoprinter can make. It melts in your mouth, leaving a gritty residue on your tongue. You wait until everyone is gone, but Tammy never shows up. You look down at the cotton candy in your hands. It's wilted a little from the humidity, but it's kind of like her hair. You think, pale pink is so soft. You keep some to give to her later. You're relaxing in your family's quarters after dinner. Your mom had to run off on some kind of council business. So you and your dad are playing a hollow game together. When you're just about to head off to bed, your mom returns. You can tell from the defeated slant of her shoulders that something has gone terribly wrong. Your dad starts asking her what's happened, and she waves him away and approaches you. She sits down and takes your hand, holding it between your two strong, dirt-creased ones. Her two strong, dirt-creased ones. Solana, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this. She starts. Her mouth quivers as she swallows, working on her next words. There was an accident this afternoon in the creche. No! What? Your classmate Tammy has died? What? Why? What? This is so random. What happened? Tammy was killed by an electric shock from a broken hollow projector. It was just an accident. A little girl is dead. Someone you'd grown up with. Someone so much like you. She wasn't sick or anything. You just saw her this morning. She was right there. Why? Sometimes there's just no reason why. You aren't used to dealing with death and you don't know what you're supposed to say or do. You sort of mumble, okay, then get changed and crawl into bed. A full hour before your bedtime. You try to fall asleep, but you toss and turn for hours. You eventually drift off to fitful dreams of that small, sticky red lump of cotton candy. This was so... What? And you just want me to keep going? You just keep on going? Just keep on living? Like... He's been crying all morning and probably all of yesterday. He and Tammy were really close. Whenever you guys used to play house in the creche, Tammy was always the mommy and Cal was the daddy, even though you were just little kids. You always giggled about how obviously they were going to be together forever, like a princess and a knight. I miss her too. Me too, he sniffs, looking up at you. You can see how puffy and red his eyes are. Me really, really too. Tammy always liked these flowers, he mumbles. Sometimes I picked some for her. He runs his hand over the pretty white flowers. Don't tell your mom, okay? Tears well up and slowly leak out of his eyes. He doesn't even blink, just stares at the flowers as the tears run down his cheeks. You decide to give him some space. Yeah, then they're like, anyways... Mars is staring into space, looking somber. She doesn't even notice as you come up beside her and barely reacts when you say hello. I'm thinking about Tammy, she says quietly. She used to sit down on the hill there in that spot in the sun every morning. She'd just sit there for hours in the sun doing nothing, just being happy. You stare down the hill to the spot near the entrance to the quarters so you can imagine her there, working on some little craft project, humming to herself. She was so nice to everybody. And now she's dead, Mars says, making a face. How's that for fair? Of all the people, how come it had to be my friend? You don't have an answer. You've never heard Mars call Tammy her friend before, but of course she was. Tammy was everyone's scared little sister, even though she was older than most of you. Oh yeah, Administrator Seek is looking for you. I guess they need someone to do delivery jobs. I know that, Mars. Thank you. That's fucked up. Calico, but with trauma. Hi, Throna. Are you still awake or did you just wake up? That's fucked up. Like, what was that even for? Like, for what? Why did that happen? For 3 months. And some things cannot be performed. Well, welcome back. I guess I'll just fucking shovel dirt. Not give up. Good morning, Throna. Good morning, Kiyoshi. They're gonna hold a funeral. Do you want to attend? If you don't feel up to it, you could just skip it and take the month off instead, or you could get back to work. Tammy, who? Fuck off. That's so mean. The colonists gather in the recycling room, bringing organics down to be recycled here. is one of your chores, but you've only come here for a funeral twice. Both times a colonist had passed away from natural causes during the 20-year-long journey from Earth. This is the first time there's been a funeral on Vertumna, and the first time for someone you actually knew. Good morning, Therona. Good morning, Therona. Good morning, Therona. The mouth of the organics recycler has been polished, and a wreath of yellow flowers placed over the opening. Inside, you can see a shrouded figure, Tammy's small, fragile body. Tammy's dad, Uncle Tonin, is here, as well as your parents and Aunt Seaton, and the rest of the council. Cal is here with his mom and her partners. Her partners? Okay, work. Okay, polyamory. We love that. Already crying in their arms. The room is packed with people, and the feeling of grief is so thick you can taste it in your mouth. Governor Udicott stands before the assembled crowd. There are no words to ease the pain we feel today. She begins solemnly. There is only the sad company of those of us left behind to share the burden of that grief. Tammy was our child, one of the first humans to be born in space, and the first to die on an alien planet. In her short life, she exemplified the very arc of human accomplishment, bending hopefully towards life beyond our humble Earth. She's the first of us who can truly call Vertumna home. Her passing was as senseless as it was sudden. Losses like this are impossible to hold within oneself, a painful reminder that life is impossibly precious and fragile, but they also remind us, as always, that as a community we are capable of great strength. Udicott closes the door to the recycler. You hear Uncle Tonin sob over the hum of the particle disintegrators beginning their work. As a community, we remember Tammy. As a community, we return her body to the soil that nourishes us. In this way, Tammy, our child from the stars, will never be truly lost to us. The ceremony is adjourned, but a few people stay back to console Uncle Tonin as he keeps vigil over the recycler. Cal and Uncle Tonin hold on each other and weep openly. Your mom stays behind to receive Tammy's remains. As the head of geoponics, she'll be responsible for adding them to the colony's precious supply of brown soil from Earth. Your dad accompanies you out of the recycling room. He clears his throat. I want you to know that you don't need to be okay, he says, clasping his warm hands on your shoulder. If you want to take the rest of the month off, everyone's going to understand. I wish I got that. I think I need to take the month off because the stress is actually really high. You haven't slept yet, Kiyoshi? I'll take the month off. I think that's a good idea. There, I'm gonna feel a lot better. The prospect of going back to school like everything is normal is too much to handle. You end up spending the whole month alternating between sleeping, scrolling the HoloNet, and staring into space. It's restful, at least, and everyone gives you the time you need to process Tammy's death. The way I was like, she's gonna be my best friend, and then she fucking died. Like, well, we did get the content warning, okay? We did. We read the content warning. We knew it was gonna happen. We saw it coming.